need to go get Jesus before it's too late. We need to raise our voices up, to pray harder than ever before. For America has become the prodigal son. As a country, we have turned our backs on the one that made this country. But let's not lose hope. Let's not listen to all this nay too and not lose hope. There is still time. We need to get out. We need to spread His word to everybody we see. We need to be on social media talking about God more than we talk about anything. We need to take a stand. When people try to remove God, we need to stand up and say no. When they took prayers out of school, we needed to be there going, no. Prayers are staying in school. When they removed the 10 Commandments, we should have been there with fences and going, no, they will stay. Because this country cannot be governed without God. We need to stand up. We need to get God back in America if America is to be saved. For our little ones, we need to do this. We need to pray harder than we've ever prayed. We don't need to sit silently like, oh, well, they're moving the 10 Commandments. Let's just sit over here and, well, let's say a prayer, but that's all we're going to do. We need to stand up. I remember when they moved the 10 Commandments. I don't remember hearing any uproar. There was some social media uproar. None there. Nobody was standing there. I don't remember seeing a lot of folks, at least the news didn't cover it. And the social media videos didn't cover it. We need that. We need to get America back. We need to pray. It saddens me to think that as 4th of July is coming up, I'm thinking more of the negative a lot of times going on right now. I'm seeing bad on the news, not just the independents. I actually don't like the news being turned on in my house. You can ask Angela. I actually kind of ban it. Don't turn the news on. It upsets me. I don't want to hear it. And that's bad. The news should be something we can turn on and see the good going on, the joy going on. Yeah, occasionally maybe something bad happens, but we should see joy. Like I remember growing up as a kid, all the good there was. Now it just seems like we're surrounded by Satan. Evil's all around us, and we sit by. Well, at least I know I've been sitting by and letting it happen. No social media come back. When I see stuff on Twitter, I don't see a lot of people condemning it or giving scriptures or even saying it's not the way of God. I don't see a lot of people doing that. And I spend a lot of time on social media because at work it gets boring. So I get a lot of time to play on my phone in the corner. Because far too many of us, me included, sat and watched. Like I said, we might have prayed, but we never spoke up. I know I didn't. And I wish I could go back and do it. But now's the time. As 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14 said, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and return from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal the land. That's all God's waiting on. He's waiting on His people in America to turn from the wickedness, to stop letting it control America and take back control of America. And He will heal this land. He will bring America back to the glory we had. His glory. So starting today, I'm challenging everybody. We need to pray like we never prayed before. We should not end a prayer without praying for this land and country. We need to stop standing up and saying no. We're not going to be bullied out of this country. We're not going to let our churches be shut down. We're not going to let our God out of this country. We're not going to take "in God we trust" off our money. Because "in God we trust" is the most important motto this country's ever had. We're not taking, I know a few years back they were trying to take the pledge under one nation under God. They were trying to remove that. Now that one got a little uproar, which is good to see. People have standing and said, no, we need to do that with everything. We need to start demanding prayer back in church. We need to start demanding our politicians get back with God. We need Christian politicians up in the offices. We need this nation back. I'm saddened to see this nation in the path we're going for my little ones over there. It saddens me. It scares me a little bit, actually. Because if we don't get back under God, it's just going to get worse. There's diseases. There's plagues. There's droughts. fires all over this country. Sin is basically celebrated 1 month out of the year. And that's not what this country is. This is God's country, founded on God and His principles. We may be nearing the end times, but that don't mean we need to go down without a fight. We do not need to let America fall without standing up, putting on the armor of God, grabbing His word, and fighting. If they drive Christians out of America or the God's way, it should be by force. They should not just do it while we sit silent. And I'm talking to myself as much as anyone. We need to stand up. We need to get on Facebook. We need to get on Twitter. We need to spread God's word. We need to show His message. Put His scriptures out there. Anytime someone tries to celebrate some type of sin or talk about going out partying at night and getting drunk, we need to let them know that that's not the way. We need to watch our own hearts too, that we don't become thinking that that's the way. It's real easy to slip into accepting it. We will get America back if we take a stand and pray. Because through God, all things is possible. We can get America back to being the America of the beautiful, not America of the sin. The land of God, the land of freedom, and the land of hope. It's not that hard to get back. We just got to do it. We will bring America back to the Father. For He is great, and all things can be done in His name with His power. We hear about this in Matthew 19:26. And looking at them, Jesus says to them, with people, this is impossible. But with God, all things are possible. People can't save America, but God can. And it's through us that He will do it. Again in Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. He mentions it again. And yet again in Luke 1:36, for nothing would be impossible with God. And we can see again in Mark 9:23, and Jesus says to him, if you can, all things are possible to him who believes. So why can healing the sick America, it's not possible? Why have I heard someone say that America's too far gone? Nothing's impossible. We just got to start acting. So with His power, and through His prayer, and us standing and doing what He tells you, if you feel He's telling you to make a Facebook post that says something, do it. Don't be like, oh, my friends might not like seeing that. You know, I can't put John 3:16 on my Facebook. You know, Billy Bob over there that's friends with me wouldn't like seeing it. Don't matter. Do it. He's telling you to. Which is something I had to work on too. Facebook might ban me if I write that. Well, guess what? Let Facebook ban you. God's telling you put it, put it. You get banned, that just means you're right. I've been banned 3 times from Facebook for putting something that Facebook didn't like along the lines. So, it makes it really hard because then Mom would text me to update the church's Facebook because I'm banned, I'm not allowed to update. Let me try to make another account to do this real quick. But, that's the point. Take that stand. Do it. Post it. You feel like you need to? Do it. God's got you. Facebook is not more important than God. Twitter is not more important than God. And if we think that He is, we may need to pray on ourselves a little bit. Let's just put it there. If you think Facebook, being on Facebook is more important than doing what God tells you, the altar's right up here. Because we want our children, and I need our children, to grow up in America with God. We don't want them to grow up in an America that does not have God. Because looking at what that looks like, that's not a pretty picture. It's a scary. It's a really scary picture. We don't want our grandkids, or our kids, or our great-grandkids that some of us might have, to grow up in America that does not know God. We do it for Him, and we do it for them. If just for Him's not enough to get you moving, think of your grandkids. Think of your kids. Think of them. Think of the America we leave in if we don't get God back. And think hard on that. Or on your kids if you're still young enough to have kids. Think on them. Think about them. When you see that post celebrating the sin, and you're trying to decide if you should say something, think about the kids. Do you want America to continue down the path we're in? Because all I see on this path is destruction of America. That's all I see. That's the only outcome I can see. But if we turn it around, we get God back in office, there's a chance we can bring America back. And it's a big chance because with God, all things are possible. But we just got to make that change. We got to stand up even with fear of being persecuted. We got to stand up and say something. Jesus did, and he was persecuted. But just like him, we'd be risen back up. We've got to get down on our knees and pray, like I said, as hard as we've ever prayed. Shouldn't be a prayer that we don't end with God, please help America. And then we've got to stand up, and we've got to go out, and we've got to teach. We've got to witness. We've got to tell our stories. If there's any hope, well, that is the hope. The hope of Jesus and the hope of God. We need to tell people this. We see someone post on Facebook or Twitter, I'm so sad, there seems no hope today. We need to tell them about the hope. We need to show them the hope. If there's a politician trying his hardest that's a Christian, that shows Christian values, that you can tell by his life, we need to get behind him. You know, one that you can just tell is a Christian. Not one that says, I'm a Christian, and then goes out and does everything a Christian should do. But one that you can tell is. We need to stand up behind him. We need to get behind him. We need to support him. We need to outcry, because that's what we need. Starting in Alabama. Starting right here in Alabama. We need to get God back and move on to the state, to the country. The time is now. For tomorrow, it may be too late. If we keep holding off, it may be too late. But if we start now, there's plenty of time. That's pretty much what I have for today. And it's an important one. This is true to all the young folks and everyone else. We need to stand up. We need to get out of our comfort zone. Who cares what our friends don't like? If it's going to offend Bob that we posted on 3610, then let Bob be offended. If it's going to offend Tom that we tell Tom we were to pray for them, well, offend Tom. If Timmy gets mad because we say something's a sin and it's in the scripture and we should, let Timmy be mad. They get over it. Maybe Timmy seeing that might open his eyes. Maybe Bob seeing John 3:16 might be mad at the beginning, but you planted a seed. That seed grows. That seed helps save America. It only takes one seed to save millions. We were talking about that in Sunday school today. I'm going to bring that in. It only takes one seed, and that person goes and witnesses, and then 2 people get saved. And that person goes and witnesses. Then 2 people go, and then 4 people are saved. And then 4 to 8, 8 to 16. You get the point here? 16 to 32, 32 to 64. You're starting to add up numbers there just from one. Just from one. You're at 64 now, just after a few times. That's all it takes. Thank you. I forgot my bulletin, so which Psalms was next?